Today is my youngest sister's baby dedication party, and the whole family is present here, rejoicing with her for bringing into the world the first grandchild for my parents. What a trophy! This has indeed changed the narrative in my family. Often people have said their daughters are barren, their husband will send them away soon. But today, the story is different. My marriage, however, could not be salvaged, and that was as a result of the consequences of my actions years ago as a university student. I thought I was playing safe, or rather, I was doing business. Come to think of it, doing business while in school could be daunting, or do I rather say exciting? Especially if you are getting at your desired targets. They always say, the kind of business you do today can determine the outcome of your life in the future. Oh, how true. I thought it was smart and safe then, as far as I wasn't waiting on any man to pay my bills, yet still I was a happening babe back in the day. Because that was my desire while growing up. Yes, a day came when the consequences of life came knocking on my door, demanding its pay. Yes, today happened to be my payday. Welcome to our channel, where Africa's timeless myths and stories are not just told, but lived. Here we bring you folk tales, rich history, and vibrant oral traditions retold with fresh energy and vivid details. Before we dive into the story, please take a second to give us a thumbs up by liking this video and drop a comment telling us where you are watching from. And do not also forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on our next powerful story. Here's where the story begins. Back in my university days, life was not what I dreamed of. Money was not flowing as it should. My parents were struggling in the village to make ends meet since my dad's retirement came sooner. I told myself I would rather work to keep myself in school than date men. But the job offers I had could barely feed me then. Yes, looking good was my thing, so I always make friends with those that patronize designer wares because I wanted to look fresh and sharp, to be among the happening babes on campus. I wanted to wear nice clothes, smell good, and eat what I desired. So I moved with the big girls in school. Some of those girls in school had boyfriends, older men, sugar daddies, who gave them money. But I didn't want that life. Then one evening, while eating at the bucateria, one of my friends, she was 2 years my senior, called me aside. "I have a business proposal for you," she said. "You will make cool, neat money and you can take care of yourself while in school." The next day, she took me to a private clinic in town where I was introduced to harvesting my eggs monthly. I was told it is painless and that I stand to lose nothing after all. The eggs get wasted every month as I undergo my monthly cycle. I thought I had found a cleaner way to make money, so I started selling my eggs. Every month, I would go to this hospital in town then. The nurses and doctors would smile at me, treat me gently, give me some medications, and then remove my eggs. They would pay me 200,000 naira each time. For a student, that meant heaven on earth. I was balling, buying designers' clothes, the foams, eating at expensive restaurants. I looked so good that my roommates began to envy me. "Amaka, I beg, show us a ray. Cut up for me now," one of them begged one evening while we were painting our nails. At first, I wanted to keep it secret, but then I thought, why not? Why should I eat alone when my friends can also enjoy? So I introduced them. Soon, every month, we would all walk together to the hospital. We would laugh, guys, and after everything, come out richer. They too began to bawl. I told myself I was doing a good thing, helping women, teaching them how to rise above poverty. I felt proud. But inside me, sometimes a small voice whispered, "Amaka, is this thing safe?" I would quickly silence the voice. After all, I was young, strong, and still saw my monthly time. I told myself nothing could ever go wrong. One evening in my 500 level, I had the shock of my life. I had gone out with my roommate Nancy to a fancy restaurant in JRA. The air was sweet with the aroma of fried rice and grilled chicken and fish. Music was playing softly. We were laughing, eating, enjoying ourselves. Then my eyes caught something amazing. A woman walked in, carrying a baby on a stroller. She adjusted the wrapper and I caught a glimpse of the child's face. My heart skipped. This baby looked so much familiar, like my baby photo. Same nose, same lips, same tiny birthmark near the eyebrow that I also had. I gasped. My spoon dropped into my plate. Babe, see that baby? I whispered, tugging my roommate's hand with shaking fingers. She turned, looked carefully, and then covered her mouth with shock. Amaka, this baby resemble you not be small. I felt my stomach twist like knots. My chest was tight. Could it be? I whispered, my eyes wide with fear. But she quickly cut me off, laughing nervously. Forget that term, please. People do have lookalikes in life. I forced myself to smile. I forced myself to believe her. But inside, fear planted a seed. After school, I moved on to engage in the one-year national service, NYSC. It was during my service year in Lagos that I met Segun, a medical doctor in one of the private hospitals. Segun was very friendly, compassionate, and caring. We became very close friends, and 1 year after our service year, we got married. He was kind, handsome, and hardworking. In fact, the best husband one can ask for. We were a perfect couple and everyone admired us. 1 year after our wedding, no signs of pregnancy and no child at sight. 2 years on, still nothing. 3, 4, 5, still nothing. My pillow became wet every night with tears. I would cry silently so my husband would not hear. Lord, please, I prayed. Let it not be what I'm thinking. Let my past not destroy me. I fasted. I sowed seeds in church. I joined a women's prayer fellowship. I even visited different prayer mountains. But my womb remained silent. One evening, my husband held my hands gently. His eyes were kind, but firm. Amaka, he said softly, we will keep praying, but let's also run tests. We need to know if there's any problem. My heart dropped. Cold fear swept through me. Tests? I knew what they might find. Babe, do you think we have a medical condition? Far be it from us. I trust myself very well, and I trust you too. I believe God is the giver of the fruit of the womb. He will surely bless us in due season. Let's keep praying. Remember the Bible says, pray without season. That is the magic that usually keeps Shegun calm. We continued our peaceful, loving family life for a while until Shegun's mother came visiting for the Christmas holidays. Every morning, my mother-in-law would call me into her room for interviews and special prayers. We would discuss my fertility issues, my job, and my plans for the future. She seemed really concerned, and I thank God for that. The only problem I noticed was that her presence pressured Shegun to demand for medical examination. With Mama in the picture, I could not avoid the issue any longer. So, Shegun and I had to fix an appointment to see a gynecologist. The day of the hospital visit came. They took my blood, ran scans, and carried out many checks. I sat in the waiting room, trembling like a leaf. When the results were ready, they were handed over to my husband. Then he called me into his office. My heart pounding as I stepped in. He was seated on his seat, face down, with his chin in his hands and piles of papers on the table. He was not smiling. His eyes were heavy and filled with pain. Amaka, he said slowly, I want nothing but the truth. Were you selling your eggs before? My lips shook. My body went cold. For a moment, I wanted to lie, but the guilt was too heavy. I nodded gently. He stood up from his chair, slamming his palm on the desk. Hey, so I take my hand go carry iron condemn? Tears poured from my eyes. I am not an iron condemn, I whispered weakly. But he wasn't done. His voice rose with pain, breaking my heart with every word. Don't tell me that, Amaka. Why? Your ovaries are damaged. You have something called ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. You may never be able to carry a child. That is what the result says. His voice raised. I fell to the ground crying uncontrollably. I didn't know. I thought I was just hustling. He shook his head bitterly. His eyes were misty. You are wicked, Amaka. You knew all along, yet you dragged me into this. Hitting his fist on the table. Amaka, I'm done with this marriage. And just like that, he left and did not come home that night. When he later returned, he handed me an envelope while he sputtered angrily, signed this. Behold, it was divorce papers. I fell on the sofa weakly. Tears well up in my eyes as I whispered, Amaka, look what you've done to yourself. Within a year, he remarried. Soon I read his new wife had but a set of twins. Me, my womb remained empty. I walk the streets now and then, and I see children who look like me. Sometimes I feel it is an optical illusion, and other times my conscience will knock hard. There is a case of a little boy at the shopping mall, the girl in the market, even the child running freely at the playground. They all look like me. My eggs are scattered everywhere. So I thought my children were rocking in other women's arms, calling other women mama. But me, the true mother of those eggs, has none. I am a living proof that greed can snatch away destiny. Today, sitting down on a pew at the corner of the church and waiting the dedication of my sister's baby. Such a cute little bundle in my arms, yet I cannot call her mine. As I relished in their joy, my last words remain, do not trade your future joy for temporary gains. Thank you for being a part of today's story. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We would want to know what touched you most in this story. Don't forget to like and share. You never can tell how far it will go to shape someone's life. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next powerful story. See you in our next story.